Hey socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and a little lifestyle. So if those are the type of videos you enjoy, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. Today's video is the October makeup tray. This is one of our favorite videos over here on my channel. I did miss September's makeup tray and fragrance tray, y'all, but we are back on track. These are trays I like to put together every single month. That way I could be more intentional about trying these particular products. Some of these products are on the tray because they're almost used up and I want to be intentional about pulling for them. Some of them are new products, new releases that I want to get to know a little better. Some products are even seasonal because it's fall now. It's starting to be a little bit cooler, so I can switch out some of those more long wearing, maybe a little bit more soft matte foundations for something a little bit more, radiant or hydrating. So hopefully this video inspires you guys to pull out some of those products that maybe you haven't used in a while, or maybe switch up some things for fall. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with prep products, and I only have a couple. So first up is the Lawless Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Primer. Now this is one of those moisturizers and primers in one, and it's sort of on the hydrating side. So it's supposed to hydrate, plump, and smooth. It's almost like a lotion moisturizer as far as the texture of it. It's not super thick, but it's not thin either. You see, like, it doesn't move. It's almost like a sort of plumpy, plushy type formula that's very unique. I've never felt a primer that feels like this. Moving on to a setting spray. This is the Morphe Continuous Prep and Set Mist. Now the claims of this is that you can spray this on before your makeup like a primer, or maybe after your primer to help prep your face. I've used it that way and wasn't crazy about it, but what I love this for is to use as a setting spray after I finish my makeup completely. Like the last 2 to 3 times that I did my makeup, including today, this is what I used and I really liked it. Especially if I'm using products that turn out a little bit more on the matte side than what I thought. This is really good. It helps to melt everything into your skin and gives it a little bit more of a hydrated look. So comment down below and let me know how you feel about this, especially if you have like oily skin. I don't think it helps a whole lot with your makeup being more long wearing, but to melt it to the skin and to make it look a little bit more hydrating and just kind of mesh in with your makeup and not look so powdery, this is a really good one. Now, if you use something like the Nars Light Reflecting Setting Mist that's supposed to be a hydrating or something similar to this, the difference is you spray this on your face and it leaves nothing. It doesn't create like any type of luminosity or like reflective bits in the face or pieces in the face like this one will. It adds nothing but a smooth hydration, if that makes any sense. So that's why I would want to use this a lot more than something like this that's going to add sort of almost like a soft sheen to the skin. This won't do that. So moving on to foundations, which is what I'm most excited about. I'm pulling out the Laura Mercier Real Flawless foundation this month, and I wear it in the shade Cinnamon, 51N Cinnamon. It is a liquid formula like that. The shade Cinnamon works perfect for me. It blends so flawless on the skin and it looks absolutely gorgeous. If I was to compare this foundation to another, I would say the new Patrick Ta. I feel like the new Patrick Ta liquid foundation may have more coverage than this, but they're similar in how they blend on the skin and how flawless they are, and the fact that they're hydrating. But I do think that the Laura Mercier foundation is more hydrating than the Patrick Ta foundation. If you were considering between the two, that's what the difference is. For me, this is perfect in the cooler months. Next foundation on the list is actually one that I'm going to do a review of, like a full review and wear test of. I picked it up maybe about a month ago or a little bit less. It's the Sephora Reveal the Real Soft Radiant Skin Tint. This is their newest skin tint. It is in a liquid formula as well. I have mine in the shade 250 Eau Deep. Now this one's a little bit more on the liquidy side. As you can see, it does run, but I feel like the shade matches well, and it is quite sheer. As you guys can see, when I blended it in, you can see quite a bit of my skin through it. So I don't have much information on this. A couple of the socialites said that they loved it, so be on the lookout for this review pretty soon. Next up is the Unreal Sknn Sheer Glow Tint. This is one of the products that I was literally waiting to pull out in October because it launched in the summertime, and this is a really radiant, balmy product. It's a foundation, but to me, it's almost like one of those glowy highlighter products, because look at it, it's extremely sheer. I tried it out as a foundation, and in this Houston summer heat, it just did not work. So I already knew October, November would be the time to pull this back out, and I want to see what it really does in these months. So this is another one that I'm excited to get into. The last foundation is actually one that I just used in a recent makeup tutorial, and you guys, Patrick Ta has another foundation that nobody really talks about. It's rare that I hear or I see somebody use it. It's the Patrick Ta for Face foundation that comes in a compact. So it's this cream formula that comes with the powder. I don't really use the powder. I think I've only used the powder like twice. So I want to be a little bit more intentional about using the actual powder that comes with it. This packaging is just stunning, but that's what Patrick Ta is going to give you. I wear the shade Tan 2 in this. It's a creamy emollient product that works best for me in fall, winter. I get pretty good wear about 6 hours before I see shine. When I used it on that last makeup tutorial with the pink purple eye look, I did the Cali Ray So Blown primer underneath, and I didn't see shine until like 8-9 hours later, because that's a mattifying primer that's supposed to help your makeup be a little bit more long wearing. So it did look a little bit more matte than what I'm used to experiencing with this. So I'm going to try this out with a different primer, possibly the Lawless Primer that's on the tray this month, because I like the creamy look that this gives. And in that tutorial, it didn't look creamy like it usually does, but I know it's because of that primer. But enough about this. This is on the tray in October, so I'm excited to get that creamy, yummy skin look. We'll be using this really soon. Moving on to concealers, I've put some of my favorites on the tray this month, so no surprises. These are the Haus Labs concealers. I have shade 34, which is the lighter one, and shade 40, which is the darker one. They're medium coverage, flawless concealers. They have very minimal creasing. They're just as beautiful as the Haus Labs. This one's 34, just as beautiful as the Haus Labs foundations, you guys. Love these. If you want full coverage out of these, you're definitely, this one's 40 by the way. If you want full coverage, you're definitely gonna have to go in with 2 layers of it, but really, really nice. This is like in my top 3 favorite concealers. My absolute favorite concealer is the Dior Forever Skin Correct concealer, these right here. So the difference between the two is this one has more coverage, so you only have to go in with 1 layer of this, but nonetheless, this is pretty. It melts into my skin so nice, and it just looks so natural. One other concealer on the list is a drugstore concealer, which is really good. I randomly picked this up during that month, Affordable Makeup May, and this is the Black Radiance True Complexion Concealer. Excellent concealer, and I think it's about $5. Never hear anybody talk about this, especially when I first got it. This one's actually in the shade, you know what, this is that product that I got that doesn't have the shade on it, unfortunately. I think, you know, when you take the plastic part off of it, it had the shade on the little plastic part that you peel off so you can open it. Why they did it like that, I don't know. So I'll have to do a little bit of research to find out the shade of it, and I'll leave it in the description box for you guys. But it has a large doe foot applicator, which I appreciate. I feel like, especially lately, these companies have been doing these super tiny applicators for concealer, and I don't think I like that very much. What do y'all think about applicators with concealer? Do y'all like them smaller, or do you like a fuller one like the one that came on here. I recently did a Dior Beauty unboxing, and in that order I got this Dior Backstage face palette, and it has these 4 sort of not really shimmery, but they're definitely those reflective highlighter shades. And so I mixed these 2, which is the bronze and the gold shade, together and used them on my face today. But these are so pretty. Let me swatch them for you. So I thought I'd use this a little bit more. It just looks so good on the skin, y'all. So they're not super harsh. It's almost like a smooth sheen, similar to the Hourglass powders. The Hourglass powders are smoother than this though, if you wanted to know the difference. The Hourglass is smoother and looks a little bit more subtle and effortless. So those 2 I mixed today. That's that glow you see on my skin. Y'all, my hair is so yellow. So in the next few videos, you guys are going to see me with some sort of hat on. I get my hair done in 2 stages. So this is the first lightening part, and I go back in 2 days for it, you know, to get like my normal white. They lighten it again and it gets white to the white stage, but I'm yellow, so I'm wearing a hat. But so next product on the tray is my Milani cream bronzer. Y'all, I'm so proud of myself because I've been so intentional already, and it's only what, the 3rd day of the month. This one's in the shade Spicy Season. So the past like 2 to 3 times, because I've created the list, I've been thinking about it for like the past month of what I wanted to wear in October. And so I knew I wanted to be intentional about this because it's good. Every time I use it, I'm like, why don't I use it more? So this is the only cream bronzer I have on the tray in October. And so the last few times I did my makeup, this is what I used. I used it today on my makeup. It's good, especially for the price. I really do like this color Spicy Season because it's not too deep. I don't like a bronzer or contour shade that's like, you know, 4 or 5 shades darker than my skin tone. I like to go 1, 2, at the very max 3 shades, you know, darker than my skin tone. It just makes it so much easier to blend. And I'm not really into that super stark, you know, contour anymore. I prefer a more subtle contour and something that blends in a little bit more effortlessly. Moving on to powders, we have the Nars pressed powder. This one is one of the most pigmented pressed powders in my collection, and for that reason I barely wear it. Now I know this shade, which is Offshore, looks a bit red, but trust me, this shade works on my skin and it looks beautiful. I'm going to do it a little thicker swatch so you guys can see it. So it looks a bit powdery on the hand, but when you blend it out on the skin, and really this swatch is not doing it justice, you have to see it on the face, you know, on top of a foundation. You only need a little bit. You can apply with a light hand, a big fluffy brush so it won't be too heavy, but it is so flawless. This is a flawless powder, especially if you're somebody that wears like skin tints or more, you know, light to medium coverage foundation products. You can afford to use something like this with a light hand, and it just gives you this blown out airbrush effect. But because it's so pigmented, I do prefer to use this in the cooler months. I always use this in like fall, winter. Next on my makeup tray is the LYS Loose Setting Powder. This one is translucent. This is a newer product. I think it launched about a month or 2 ago. And yeah, because I hadn't used it so much, I don't know a whole lot about it. I thought it was a nice powder. It is finely milled, so we're going to use this month just because we need to get use out of it. The last powder on the tray is going to be the new Makeup by Mario powder, y'all. I had, you guys, the way me and this powder got along last month, but we figured it out. So I have the shade Neutral Peach, which works well for me. So I ended up trying it out with the Haus Labs concealer, which, like I just told you guys, is one of my favorite concealers, and it looked beautiful. I have been seeing other people use it and it was gorgeous. So, you know, I'm glad that I switched out the shade and tried it with something else. And that's the importance of me coming on here, you know, doing different layering combos with makeup and, you know, trying different products together so we can see what works best with what, because everything doesn't work well together. But this is a good one, so I'm excited to use this more in October. And last on the tray, I have a few lippies that I want to talk about. So we're doing some vampy lips this month, and so I specifically bought this when I was in LA. I got the pleasure of visiting the Charlotte Tilbury store, a standalone Charlotte Tilbury store that's in the Grove. And this lipstick I've been looking at for a while, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna pick this up, and I knew I was gonna be picking it up to wear in fall. So this is Stoned Rose from Charlotte Tilbury, and look at this shade. Does that not give fall leaves? So beautiful. So I'm gonna wear it with a brown liner, possibly pair it with some glosses on top, maybe not. Today's lip combo is another Charlotte Tilbury, which is my favorite lipstick. Today I'm wearing Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk. This is the original Pillow Talk. I'll put it right next to Stoned, which is this. And the way I applied it, you guys, I didn't want it super strong and pigmented, so I patted on my lips just like that to give it like that soft, more pouty lip look. And then for lip liner, I just did my Limitless Brown from Makeup Forever. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I think I did a video showing you guys how it looked already, maybe used it in 1 or 2 videos, but it was going to be reserved for fall. So I'm excited for these fall lippies. And then next is the MAC Locked Kissed Ink lipstick. It's like a liquid lipstick. This one's in the shade Posh. The claims are 24-hour wear. It does dry to a complete matte finish, and it doesn't move. So I'll put it on the other side of the Stoned. So that's what it looks like, y'all. So it's darker than this look here, but I do have a reel of this layered, so I'll see if I'll put a link right there so you guys can see how it looks on, but I'll be using it on an upcoming tutorial. These are so comfortable on the lip, by the way, a lot more comfortable than their OG liquid lipsticks like these. I don't even know if they still sell these. They probably do, but then the Locked Kiss Ink is a lot more comfortable and like softer on the lip, and it's much more of a thinner product, but you still get the coverage in a thinner product. So that's what the difference is. The last lippy and product all together on October's tray. This is a bomb tray, y'all. I'm excited for this month. I've really been playing in makeup a lot lately, like playing in colors, as you guys can see with my eyes. I did this sort of cool tone gray smoky eye using that Sknn by Kim palette, and I love how this look turned out. And I've just been, you know, highlighting who is she, but usually I do these sort of shiny or shimmery or, you know, more bold highlights in the cooler months. I don't do the bright highlights in the summer, you know, so I'm excited to play a little bit more in color, even though I know most people just, you know, do a wash of brown on the lid or tone and go, but I mean, why not have fun with it? So Lip Bar. I have the Lip Bar lipstick, and this one is in the shade Boss Lady. This is one of the deepest red liquid lipsticks that I own, and it is beautiful. I don't know if it's as long lasting as like my Sephora collection ones. I hadn't really pulled out those and worn them because not because, but one of the socialites did say that those don't last. They're not as long lasting as the originals because they've switched the formulas, you guys. 94 is my go-to, but this one's Boss Lady. Isn't it beautiful? This is so gorgeous. Let's compare it actually. So this one is my 94. So I'll put 94 right here. So it's deeper than 94. So I would love to see this on the outline, Boss Lady, and then Sephora 94 in the center, and see how that turns out. For eyeshadow, I'm adding 3 palettes, and 2 of them are actually some Juvia's Place palettes. One of them I'm excited to say I've already used. So this is the Vanessa palette from Juvia's Place, and look at these colors. So in the last tutorial that went up, I did a mixture of like these 2. I did this one in the corner. I sort of blended everything, meshed together with that. And hopefully I'll pull for this again in October. But this this particular palette, I find some of these colors are not as pigmented as the Juvia's Place quality that we're used to. I sort of had to scrape that one to sort of get that bold pigment. And I think this one wasn't as pigmented as I thought, and I really had to pack this on. The colors do look really good and you can work with them, but from what we're used to with Juvia's, this wasn't giving the same exact thing. So if you have this, let me know what you think about like how pigmented, how smooth, you know, that, you know, what we get from Juvia's. It wasn't that smooth, but it wasn't hard to work with either, if you get what I mean. The Warrior 3 palette. So this is on the tray because I want to pull for that purple shade. So I also plan to do a blue look this month. So we'll see how that goes, but I can't remember how bold these are, but I think this is like the quality that we know and love from Juvia's. And the last palette is actually one that I used today, and I used the grays on my eyes, and it's the Sknn by Kim. This is a good palette too. Very pigmented, sort of high quality. So I used a combination of, I think, these 3 today, and then I blended, you know, kind of meshed everything together with this, and then I put this to open up my eyes, like in that inner corner. You see that little brightening there? I just popped that there. So I'm definitely going to use this more in October. More so, I think I want to, you know, work with cool tones a little bit more. So excited for this. Just keep in mind with this, there's tons of fallout. So I do recommend either doing your eyes first before, you know, you do your complexion with this. If not, just make sure you tap off that excess powder that sort of falls out onto your, you know, face. You don't want to mess your face up. So be mindful of that with this one. So that's it for October's makeup tray. What are you guys wearing this month? What have you pulled out? Are y'all gonna wear color this month? Are you gonna pull out your vampy lipsticks, your deeper colors? Are you gonna do a smoky eye? Are we bringing that back or not? What are y'all wearing? I'm excited to hear what you guys are pulling out in the comments. I'll list everything in the description box for those who are interested. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
'Cause I've been where you are, but you still to show me love. 'Cause too fresh with the scars.